A raft of wandering otters, and it's just me, Steve, today. I'm going to make a little run, and because Paul has gotten to a critical point where he can't stand the sight of Duke's, that is face mask, it's better if I just go ahead and do our essentials run without Paul coming along. So our drives are very much diminished anymore. We did have that one successful drive day before yesterday, and that seems like it might be it for now. So we'll see what happens. Sorry, I look strange in my own camera thing here, or whatever. So today I'm going to go ahead and brave a trip to Costco. We need milk and some other essentials, and I'm hoping to get all those essentials out of the way and for another 2 weeks or so until it's time to go back again. We do live in strange days. I want to give a little bit of an overview. I think it's going to be this way for a long time. I know there are people that are talking about U.S. and the world going through another Great Depression. It's possible, but I think a lot of this is different. This is more a matter of I know a lot. There are some things that are different and some things that might be similar, but I know that there are people who are getting to a point where they may not be able to make their mortgage payments. Banks might collapse. It is the causes driving an economic depression like this seem like they would be different. But in general, talking about depressions, and I have a nephew who is a financial, what do you call it? He sells and shepherds over portfolios, so financial advisor or something like that, and actually very successful. And you can look at the stock market over time, okay? Even with the depression, statistically, there's something called the line of best fit, which means that there'll be these deviations, like highs and lows, but you look for this line that kind of cuts through all that and shows a steady pattern, and that gives your prediction for future, okay? And that's what statistics really are called on to do the best, is like history, what can we learn from statistics? And even with the Great Depression, and admittedly there were some stocks that just went completely out of business and became valueless. Hey, I own, or I think I still own, some blockbuster stocks. I also invested in something called Fly Incorporated, which was supposed to be a sort of a subsidiary of United Airlines, and it looked like a real promising new stock, and I lost that money. Be smart, look at the history, look at the statistics, and make your choices based upon that, not on panic. A lot of we saw this with the .com bust. A lot of people bought stocks because, hey, this is a good idea. Well, just because something is a good idea doesn't make it a good business. In other words, who's running this? One of the secrets to success to Apple is, yeah, they had really good ideas and they had really good product. But you know what? And I personally don't have, I can't say that I ever liked Steve Jobs. I never met him personally, but just what I know of him and what I've seen of him, I don't really care for him. But sometimes those are the best business people because they're kind of hard-nosed and no nonsense and get things done. So, all that being said, just because somebody has a good idea, like Steve Wozniak, I don't think Steve Wozniak would have taken Apple to where it is today, okay, by himself. You need a Steve Jobs to make a business work. So getting back to that, I very much have bought into the philosophy of Warren Buffett, where he doesn't just look at how a stock is doing because there's all this hype and frenzied buying. Hey, that's a great idea. Fly Incorporated was a great idea. United Airlines, what can go wrong, right? Okay, so what Warren Buffett does is he looks at a company's overall balance sheet. In other words, their assets versus their liabilities. So assets are what capital goods they own. If assets are if the company folded today, what would those assets be worth, for sale, to be sold off for a dead company? And that's how you have to look at it. You kind of have to look at, how much would that company be worth if they just went out of business? Okay, and that is the secret to Warren Buffett's investing in a nutshell. He calls it value-based investing. That's why I kind of just let him do the work, and I buy Berkshire Hathaway. They have a Berkshire Hathaway B that poor people like us can just buy piecemeal. I think the proper Berkshire Hathaway shares are like hundreds of thousands of dollars by now. Might even be $1 million by now. While you're ruminating about all these horrible things about our economy and everything else, I think there's two things that we should keep in mind. First of all, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. But sometimes you just have to know where to look. So be smart and know where to look. Okay? Look in the right places. And maybe even invest the money. Buy gold. Well, if you want to, everybody else is going to be doing that, so the price of gold is going to get ratcheted up. But what you do is you look, when you're looking at that line of best fit for the stock market over the last 100 or so years, okay, maybe 120, 150, look for, when you see a really solid stock, okay, go way down or down at all, if you're looking for a short, quick appreciation of your investment, then I would go with that. Okay, but overall, even Berkshire Hathaway, if there is a hit on the stock market, if the stock market does come down, even Berkshire Hathaway is going to come down. That would be the time to buy if you have the money. And it doesn't take a lot of money to get started. So you could invest $20 and end up 3 years from now, 5 years from now, whenever we're out of whatever recession. There's a difference between recession and depression. Actually, depression is an elongated recession. So you can be down and then, about a quarter or so, and they call that a recession. If you're down for, 3/4 or more? I forget. I taught economics in high school. I don't know why I don't remember this. But anyway, if you're down for a certain number of quarters, it's considered a depression. And that's a really scary word. Okay? But understand this. The stock market is much better regulated. In fact, being deregulated and being kind of out of control is what caused the great crash in the 1930s. Okay, lessons have been learned from that since then. Okay, there is more regulation of stock. People can't do as much crazy investing. The house of cards factor, where people are investing money based on borrowed money, based on equity on borrowed money investments. Okay, that house of cards effect isn't there. First of all, I don't think we're going to see anything like the 1930 depression. Okay, because the crazy growth and out of control growth that preceded that is not here this time. Okay, there's a lot of value-based investing. Think Warren Buffett. Now, he's kind of, in fact, his philosophy has become kind of the prevailing investment strategy. He's the one that called it before it even happened about the Silicon Valley.com investor bust. Okay, he called it. He said people are throwing their money into businesses that aren't even businesses. They're ideas, but they aren't really solid businesses. Okay, and that was proven true. And also the factors driving this is like this curveball. It's from somebody throwing a curveball from far left field, and I don't think you or anybody else has any business getting leery about the economy over the long run. But in the short run, and this is the second reason why you should do, is be mindful of your neighbors, be mindful of everyone's needs, and also understand that there's a reason why stimulus money was sent out. The government can't afford people to be unemployed for so long. The government can't afford, we as a country can't just watch people slip into poverty, lose their homes. That just can't happen. Okay? And so there will be brakes put on these, we'll see, but the political factor will come into play. Trust me. There's no cause for panic about our economy. If you're concerned about getting the coronavirus, that is a valid concern as far as we know. Okay? It turns out we may either be in the first wave now or the second wave. And if the Spanish flu is our lesson, the second wave is the worst. So hopefully we're in the second wave and we're almost through it. In any case, that is a valid concern. Stay safe. Be mindful. Think about your neighbors. Be kind. I think that is important. And supposedly as a conservative, and I am conservative, I'll just out myself, but as a conservative, I'm supposed to be not kind? Well, that's not really true, okay? Let's all just put politics aside. As I've said before, let's non-politic together. Love you. Thank you for watching. Hi again to Adriana. Thank you so much for watching and talking to us and being our friend. Raft of Wandering Otters. We'll see you in the next one. We're out.